my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is the Price Variance Show where I'm joined with my good friend Mark Olroyd from Suddenly Comics, and we are going to be looking at the movies and TV series that made 2023 a good year. I don't know.
No, Alan,
Sure.
it's definitely been a better year for you than 2022. There was no movies you liked in 2022. I know there's at least three or four you've enjoyed in.
Okay, maybe you're right. You're right. There are some good ones this year, so I shouldn't be so down on the movies. But yeah, there were so many bad ones too. I don't know. It's been a rough year. Okay, so
Right, I'm just going to fire
first?
away. I'm going to fire away, and you can give me your opinion on these productions. I'm going to start off with
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons. The
Oh,
Dungeons.
I love that movie. I
Okay.
love that movie. That was fun.
Yeah, I like that movie too, mainly because it had a gelatinous cube in it.
Yeah,
So
you can't go wrong with a gelatinous cube. I mean, it was very Dungeons and Dragons like too.
it was, yeah.
It wasn't like the original Dungeons and Dragons movie, which I actually didn't mind, even though it's really hokey. Um, they were like almost stating what Dungeons and Dragons were to the noobs out there. This didn't bother doing that. It just sort of played it like Dungeons and Dragons. It was very cool. I really enjoyed it. I like Chris Pine too. I actually think he's a good actor.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. No,
so
I,
yeah,
I think it was just a good fun film.
yeah.
It was a bit like playing Dungeons and Dragons. When I play Dungeons and Dragons, it's always quite funny. It wasn't serious all the time. Uh,
Hmm.
and we all took piss out of the bard. Uh,
Yeah, and that's I thought that was fun. The bird is always it's sort of like in the Mighty Monty Python movie where they're on this adventure, and at the end they go, "We ate the bird." It's like it's like okay,
okay, the next one I'm going to come up with, Alan, you might not even have heard of.
okay,
It's a movie called Nimona. You've not heard of it,
ooh,
have you? It's
never heard of it.
animated film, scores more highly than most of the Marvel films this year on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It's a bit wokey, but yeah. So
What is this movie? Pneumonia?
Nimona, yeah, Nimona. It's about a
Never
strange.
heard of it.
Right, well, you need to go and watch it. There you go.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty good. I quite liked it. It sort of kept my attention and I watched all of it, which is unusual for me. If I don't like
Hmm.
it, I switch it off these days. So yeah, Nimona.
So what's it about?
It's interesting. What's it about? It's probably about spiritual awakening,
Oh, okay. Well,
personal identity. Um,
that doesn't sound that good, but okay. Well, I'll pretend that that's good.
so there you go. We'll move on. Alan hasn't seen that one. Right, next up, Marvels.
Oof. It may like any movie that can make you want genocide of a group of people is not a good it's not a good time. Like there was actually a group that I was like, I'm fine with them being genocided. It's okay.
Who's going to be genocided? All the like Miss Marvels.
Yeah, the Marvels, I mean, it was just such a bad movie. It was like really bad. Like, I mean, this is like just a terrible movie. Like, if you lose the situation and everybody dies, you've totally fumbled the ball. Usually there's some consequences you feel a little bit bad about it, little bit bad, at least some. But nope, they don't care. It's okay. We'll walk it off. It'll be fine.
So
Oh
you're
well.
going to be sad not to see Carol Danvers again, or
I actually didn't like the funny thing is I didn't actually mind Brie Larson, which is the weird thing. Like, I say I hate the movie, and the movie was terrible. It was terrible. But I didn't actually mind Brie Larson.
okay.
She wasn't insufferable like she usually is, but she
Right.
wasn't bad.
So I have to admit, not having seen this, largely because Alan told me what he thought of it. So I thought I'm not going.
Wait for it to come out.
That's part of my life. I can put it on TV while I'm doing something else, uh,
Mhm.
sometime in the future. Right, moving quickly on from that one, then that didn't go down well. What about Ant-Man Quantum Mania?
Ugh. Another
Oh
a
dear,
real miss for me. How about you? Like, did you like it?
I thought it was good in bits. Overall, I didn't rate it. I'll tell you what I did like, and you might not like me for this. I did
Okay.
actually quite like what I wasn't expecting to like, which I quite like the Modoc.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah,
I thought Modoc was kind of lame. Like
I know.
I felt like he was like the butt of all the jokes and stuff, and I felt like, and they
It,
were so mean to him. Like he risked his life for them, and he's like, "Oh, you're not an adventurer." Like they could have just at least pandered to the guy. He just risked his life to save them, or he actually gave up his life to save them, and they're like, "Ah, you're not one of us still."
and
It's like,
I actually also quite liked, and I don't like him in some of the other stuff, but I did quite like Jonathan Majors as Kang in this. He had a sort of air of he sort of played that he had a sort of air of evil about him that I quite liked.
I mean, I actually don't think he's a bad actor. Tell you the truth, I don't think he's a bad actor. But the problem I found with not him, but the character in general is ill-defined powers. We don't know what we're supposed to be afraid of.
Mhm.
And I didn't really feel like I is he a threat? I mean, he got taken out by ants. Is he a threat? I don't really feel like it is. Like if he had like there was versions of Kang and some of the other shows that we're probably going to talk about where he could stop time. He could do things that were kind of godly.
Yeah.
Had we seen a bit of that, maybe I would like feel a little bit more of the threat level. I didn't feel any threat level from him. I felt like he was kind of taken out really easily and didn't really show any kind of real threat.
Okay. So we're not either of us. I thought it was good in bits, but I didn't like most of it. I thought it was
Hmm.
right. Um, okay. We're on to a TV show now, Alan.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Linked because we've got some similar characters. Loki season.
Linked.
Well, Loki.
Oh, okay. Linked. That's interesting. Okay. I actually liked it. I actually liked season two. Better than season one. I
Mhm.
thought season one was very emasculating. Is that is that the right way to say it? It's just like it's like belittling, like foot to the to the groin too much in um, season one, whereas season two they actually gave Loki a bit of like he was the main character. He was the one that kind of solved everything. He was the one that kind of was like beyond everyone else, and he kind of was the great god that he's supposed to be. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, for me, yes, I agree with you. Your focus of attention is on Loki. Uh,
Hmm.
he's a great actor, and the script was better in that it's called Loki, and it was about Loki.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
and I'll tell you what it reminds me. It's gone a bit Doctor Who-y for me,
it was a very Doctor Who episode. I thought so too. I agree, totally
which
agree.
isn't a bad thing. I quite like Doctor Who,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. Me too. So
traveling around with some companions, but it's always the Doctor who's the one who's going to fix it, and
yeah, but in this, I actually liked the companions more as well. I really liked the what's the guy's name? The Chinese guy. He is really good actor. He
oh,
just
yeah, he's quite funny.
he he's quite funny. He's very endearing. You just really love the guy.
He
He's
always
such
looks
a cool guy.
a lot befuddled, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's cool. Like I don't know, I really like him. So yeah, it's good to see him come back to the whole movie TV series thing. Yeah.
Okay, right. So next up, we've got another TV series, which I know you've watched, Gen
Mhm.
V.
Gen V. Okay, so Gen V, I'm mixed about. I actually enjoyed it. I'm gonna tell you I enjoyed it. But I'm mixed about it because it's a situation where I couldn't find one character that had redeeming qualities about them. They're all evil. The only one that maybe is sort of good would be the girl that throws up and
Yeah, she's all right.
becomes.
I liked her. Yeah,
She's okay. She's okay as a person. Like you would say, okay, she's not evil at least. Everybody else, very questionable morals,
yeah,
very questionable. Which might make sense because they are superheroes. In a way, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? Um, so I get that, but I felt like there was a bit like, I kind of want my heroes to be a bit heroic, but they weren't heroic at all. They were just too flawed, I guess.
yeah. So for those who are not familiar with this is a TV series spun off from The Boys, so it's set in the Boys
Hmm.
universe, and these are kids who've all taken the drug that turns you into a superhero when they were kids, and there was
Hmm.
a sort of superhero academy. Um, so I started off really enjoying it, and then
Hmm.
I got a bit bored. Um,
Okay.
I thought the scripts became a bit predictable.
Yeah, I agree.
So when it starts, they're new characters. You're working out what's going on, and I found the first three or four episodes quite interesting. And to be honest, I got a bit bored with it because I thought, well, this is just predictable script writing.
Yeah. The only thing is like they still had a bit of the wokeness in it where the one white male character is just being like he's like the creepiest guy. He's getting like really emasculated, like literally he's his thing gets blown up. Um, you know, um, I feel like there's still that wokiness that is a little bit cringy and annoying, but for the most part, I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay.
Okay. Next, on to one I am confident both of us are going to have liked, and that is Across the Spider-Verse Part One.
Oh yeah, definitely enjoyable. Yeah, I really like the Spot character. Um, so one of the things that I think is always interesting is like character arcs. You always want to see the character kind of go through a transition through the movie,
Yeah,
and Miles Morales does that to a certain extent. Gwen Stacy definitely is the heart of the movie, but Spot himself, the villain, you can see that development,
yeah.
and that's interesting to see like him being this kind of goofy, like not really like you can't really take him serious as a villain. And it's sort of what I was complaining about with the other movies that you don't understand the power set. With the Spot, you can actually see him develop his power set,
Yeah.
and you can say, "Wow, gee, this is actually getting kind of scary. He's actually getting kind of serious level threat." And that makes it interesting to see that development. So I enjoyed it a lot.
For me, I found the animation stunning. I thought the
Yeah,
quality of animation was absolutely fantastic, and the way they used different art styles for different parts of the
that
universe,
was really smart.
and the way they got in shots of actual comics scenes into the movie, I really
Yeah, really well done.
playing out. That's playing to the fanboys. If you're not a fanboy, you just wouldn't have noticed it. But if you are a
Good.
fanboy,
Yeah,
you would have
it
noticed.
was that was very nice. That was very nice. I like that kind of a detail. The only thing that bothered me, actually, the only thought a thing that where I felt it was a little weak was I found like the scenes with Miles Morales kind of dragged. When he was dealing with his family, I found like those scenes were like, we've seen he's already done this a few times already through in the movie. We don't need to do this too
Yeah,
much. I felt like,
that was my criticism as well. There was a bit too.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, that'd be my only. Yeah, I gave it a really high score.
yeah. Okay, and finally, I don't know if you saw this, Alan. I didn't see it, but it's got good reviews. Was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film?
Did not see it, so can't say good or
Okay,
bad.
so there
I
you
just didn't
go.
like
Got two
this.
people reviewing a movie.
One
And
comment. Just I do have one comment about it though. One comment. I don't know what it is. If you're a ginger as a character, like redheads and Hollywood do not mix. I don't know why. They really like to kill genders, like gingers in movies. Like I mean, like instead of being a ginger, they're all of a sudden like a black or Asian or something that non-ginger. Like, I don't know why it is. Why do they do that? They keep on like non-gingerfying people. I don't know. So April O'Neil becomes non-April O'Neil, in my opinion. That's the only thing. I don't know if it, maybe it was good. I don't know. I have no idea, so I can't really comment.
Right. Okay. So that's the end of the list for your annual channel.
Okay, so that was actually 9 movies and TV series. We're gonna actually do another 9. There was 18 uh Marvel or DC or like comic related movies that have come out this year. That just shows you how much stuff has come out this year. We're gonna do another 9 on Mark's channel. It's crazy how much stuff has come out. So go over to Mark's channel and we'll check out the next 9 on the list.